Alright. Hello everyone. This is my tic-tac-toe machine that I invented. I'm very excited to share it with you today, so let's get into it. Instead of using redstone lamps, I've decided to use copper bulbs. They seem more efficient and optimized for screens, and those are what I decided to use since I've been using them lately in other projects. Um, they're just so much fun to use with redstone. So the way this works is you have four button pushes connected by a wire that runs to the back, and a lot of redstone I will get into in a second, but I want to show you how it works. So we have four button pushes: on, X, and O, and then clear. So super simple, and you don't have to have two sides for it. And let's get into the redstone. So the redstone, starting with the button controller, each of these buttons corresponds with the one on the screen, so it will be the same one in line with it. This one goes to that one, the middle always goes with the middle, and then the left one goes with the left side. So just thought it would be easier that way. Okay, now for the wire, we have these repeaters all connected on one wire, and I saw this video from a YouTuber. It made it so much easier to compact 9 wires going from the controller to the machine, and I only have 3 lines. It saves a lot of redstone and just makes things super easy and efficient. So coming off from the wire, this jumbled up mess is basically allowing only one wire to go through, the one that you pushed, and canceling out the others so they don't turn on. And we have, okay, first we have this machine. This is what does all the screen actions. It's only 3 pistons with observers placed around. Also, these lamps get powered when the piston goes in. So a certain series of button pushes changes how the bulbs work. And I'm going to show you that when I get to a plain world and build it for you. So this line right here, this is the first line that I got started with. I noticed a problem. So if you wanted to use the machine, you would have to just use a lever, and it would be like every other button push had to be powered, or else the machine wouldn't do what it's supposed to do. It wouldn't show, I believe, X the way it should have. But anyways, so this line right here makes that happen. So every other button push, this will stay on, not just get pulsed through. And that solved that problem. And then I had another problem. It took 8 button pushes to clear the whole thing back to normal. So what I did was I noticed a pattern, and the pattern was every 4. So we have 3 copper bulbs here. This is basically our timer. Every button push um, changes this so that, or a counter, I suppose. It counts how many button pushes we've done. And once it gets to 4, it sends a signal through these observers and triggers only these 2 pistons. Um, I believe it's 2 times, and that clears the game. And then resets everything too, the way it's supposed to be. So that is the whole machine. Then you just repeat. It's tileable. Obviously, you need 1 block space in between, but it works great. I've uh, I've tested it out. You can push these buttons as fast as you want, and it doesn't break. So Usually the ones in the row I thought were going to break, but they really don't. Like, no matter how many times you push them, the system just knows to go um, with the screen that you pushed. I don't know if I pushed that last one or not. But I am so happy with how this design came out. All right, let's get into how you make the screens and set up the wire to split these three repeaters. All right, once you found the location where you want to start building your tic-tac-toe, we're going to start doing the redstone and start with observers. This is just temporary. You can change that later. I've laid out where everything needs to go as far as being able to place it on something. So we have a 2x3 right here, and we're going to start with observers. We need some filler blocks, temporary. All right, just like that, facing this direction, and then we're going to place comparators in each of the corners of your screen, and then we will get our pistons. These pistons are placed 3 blocks away from the center, and we'll get our redstone blocks and our slime block in the center. These go on either side, and 2 blocks, one on top and one on bottom. Okay, now we need our copper bulbs. It doesn't matter if these are waxed or not. It doesn't affect it in this part of the redstone. Okay, so technically you are done at this point. You don't even need those other 2 pistons. This is just for our extra system right here. So if you wanted to, you could just use a lever on this, and you'd have to hit it, I think, 6 times for our screen here. You can't use a button. You'd have to use a lever because when it's in the X position, or the O, I can't remember, it needs to stay on. So there's 2 problems with this. This is why I added extra redstone. You can flip the lever, leave it on. That is the first stage. Turn it off. The second is X. And the third, on, is O. And in ours, it will be clear for the last one. But if you wanted to use a lever, you definitely could. You just have to keep pressing it. So you have another flip. Almost there. And this is why we are going to add more redstone. Okay, we need a block here. Then repeater, observer, 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 repeater with 3 tick delay, which probably messed up our redstone. Nope. Okay, so if you're changing these, you might want to just break this first. Then set these redstone comparators out, and we need copper bulbs. These ones don't necessarily need to be waxed, but you can wax them all and it would do the same thing. Alright, now we need another waxed copper bulb, or unwaxed. And then this one does matter. So you do need a waxed bulb because the observer is observing everything. So if it decays or whatever you call it, it will notice and mess up your whole line of redstone, which is not good. Okay, we can place this now. Oh, we also need to set this. So this, there's two things that this does. This line counts um, how many times we press the button, and it counts every 4. So every 4, we're going to have it so that these 2 pistons only get fired, and it's going to fire twice. Just like that. So leave a half slab above the middle one, so this one doesn't get fired, but these 2 will. And that will just clear it so that when we're on the 4th one, it will restart. All right, so now we need a block behind this copper bulb with a comparator. And target block. Target block. Right. Redstone here and repeater. Okay. So this one counts 4. Every 4 button presses, you have to clear it. This line here, this is what is very necessary to keep the pistons extended or not. So every other one, this is also a counter, and it leaves it switched on every other one, I believe. So when we do the first push, it stays on, and then the next button push, it retracts these pistons to leave only the X showing. And we're just going to put a repeater right here. This is all just temporary, but if you wanted to wire this up, you could any way you want. I have an example of the way I've done it, and I will show you in a second. So the first button push, all lights are on. Second, X. Third is O. And fourth, clear. And that's it. Alright, I wanted to finish talking to you guys about the controller here. So when you power these, they travel 15 blocks through the redstone dust, which allows um, the first one to be only lit up every single time. Or at least that's how I have this system. The middle one will have 2, and the third one will have all 3 lit up. And it's not super difficult to differentiate between the 3, but it does take some crafty redstone. So I came up with this system. It is not perfect. I just got it working. And basically what you want to have is only the ones that you pushed to go through and block out the other ones that you don't want. So obviously for the shortest one, which only gets lit up 1, this one can go through without blocking anything else. Um, so you just have to have a delay on it. That's 3 because you want to stop that when you push the middle button. And the middle button does 2. It does this one and that one. So um, here we have the wire going to the middle one. It gets powered, but before this one goes through this long delay there, you want to stop it. So we have a repeater with redstone going to the piston. And same for the third. So when you push this button, you don't want the other 2 to be active. So this goes down to this one before this one can get powered, and down again. Doesn't make a loop right here. That's why we have all these repeaters. It's kind of a mess, but it works. And then to this one. So that's how I have it right now.